Single Awareness Day.
Love yourself.
Why is it single?
I've been celebrating single awareness for years. Years.
What's next to what?
Wherever
sad.
it is, happy whatever day it is for you.
Enjoy whatever day you're doing.
Yeah.
Happy Sad Day.
So, and then what I want to know you guys thought on this. So we kind of came up with this as a mission statement for the office. Any thoughts or tweets or anything you guys want? But so we are a diverse, professional, and dynamic community where mutual respect, education, and fun are integral in promoting an inclusive and highly collaborative environment that empowers our agents to achieve success in their personal and professional lives.
I like it.
Good. We came with that a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna get things up and put it around the office. But wanted to get input from you guys. This is your office. So
We were literally just doing, literally, today, just working on this.
see, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay. Good. As long as you guys are good, then we're gonna, like I said, get some stuff around the office. You know, I've never been one of those. I don't know. House does not have a bunch of things on it. Okay, January listing leaders. Congratulations to our listing leaders. Individual, Trent Pippin. Small team, Compass Group. Large team, Mojo. Congratulations to the January listing leaders. January's closing leaders. We have another large team. I don't think I've seen this. I'm just saying. So you guys know. Yeah, so January's over. I saw you look at the watch. Let's see. Individual, Julius Bland. Small team, the Beck team. And large team, Elevate Real Estate. Congratulations, everyone. And then the reports came out. This is month to date and year to date. Right, so top 20 for office: Julius Bland, Francis Hayes, Mackenzie Scott, Tia Burns, Craig Brannick, Jeffrey Williams, Jessica Long, Randall Thomas, Robin Masters, Ben Waller, Lauren McMullen, Leslie Niebling, Bill Zhang, Stephanie Bothel, Wendy Bunnell, Deborah McFarland, Kristen Schmidt, Paula Shaw, Michelle Gilbert, and Tamara McKinney. Congratulations for the top 20. Our small teams, the Beck team, number 1, Your Home, Utah Property Source, Compass Group, Ward and Henry team, and Abstract Realty. Congratulations, everyone. And for our top 2 sales teams, we've already done that. So, Elevate and Mobile. Congratulations, everyone. This January, listings are up. We're only off about last year at this time. We're down 2. Closings and under contracts are still down, which I expected near the end of the way our deals did last year. But we are seeing an uptick in market. Are you guys feeling it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm seeing more renewed faith in people and confidence. So hopefully it continues. And it'll be good. Okay. Well, there's a transition I didn't know about. So, just a quick reminder on Real Vitalize. I am seeing this used more often. They have kind of streamlined their participation program. It should be easier to sign up on. So, which you can find on CBDesk. For those as a reminder, and for those that have not, we've got some newer agents as well. So, what Real Vitalize program is, this allows you to, it can be used for anything. So, it's anywhere from $50 to $50,000 that a seller can use on their property throughout the time of the listing. It has to be 3% of the purchase price. It's an interest-free loan, essentially upfront cash that can cover anything from staging, bathroom remodels, winter maintenance, or to move it into spring, anything like that. Even if they have repairs that are requested during inspection, it costs nothing to have the listing enrolled. There's no reason not to have one in, because if those funds come up and it's needed, the sellers can draw upon those funds. The one caveat is it has to be a contractor through Angie's List, and so that's the primary thing. So, but it is streamlining, it is getting better. I know there were some hiccups originally, and most of those were just contractors that were not available on Angie's List. If you have contractors that you work with, I know we've discussed this too, and I think there's a fee. for those referrals, but if they get an edge, they can be used. So just a reminder on that. And then they have added Real Vitalize fixed scripts and objection handling in there as well. And you go to just Real Vitalize or head to desk Real Vitalize, and then the agent resources to access it. Did we have any questions on that? If you guys do, come to me. I know you got one agent out of Draper who is heavily using this and doing really well in pushing presentations with it. So, also remember weekly social content. So those that have not signed up, you can scan this. It is weekly email that comes to you with recommended content, pictures, hashtags, all that fun stuff. If you're not creative like I'm not, and want some content that's already created for you. You don't have to use it, but there are some good suggestions. I think the platforms are LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook right now, if I remember correctly. I don't know if they've added any other media platforms yet. Has anybody this is for me, like myself, but so you can check the migration trends by going to the Utah Census. It's actually a flows mapper. This QR code will take you right to it. But if you're trying to figure out certain areas, our net migration in Salt Lake County, we actually lost 27. Welcome. 27 people over the last, and that's a net out of the last 4 years.
Did you say 27?
Out of Salt Lake County, that moved out of Salt Lake County. It's not a huge amount, but
27.
the net of that is 27.
Okay.
And so,
Actually,
but if
27.
you have certain areas you're working in, you want to see what the growth is looking like, or has looked like over the last 4 years. Again, right now their data set goes to 2020, so this isn't the last 3 years. Okay, but you can see where some of those trends are. You can see where people have moved to and where they're coming in from. Per county, you can either use the map by clicking on each county, or you can do it in the drop down. You can do net, you can outbound, inbound, figure out where people are going and where they're coming from in any of these counties. So I would find this more so if I'm advertising properties, especially high end, and I want to see what areas move into that area. It could be a good tool. But that QR code at the top will take you to it. You can also go to flowsmapper.g. Just go to the QR code. Or if you need it, I can send you the link.
Now we have a
Kind of. The data is almost as old. So, little newer. So, really quick. Also, Clay, you want to come up?
Yeah.
If you guys, I don't know if any of you have met Darren before. He's been out of the Union Heights office for a number of years with a guaranteed rate as well. So he's here to talk about the first time homeowner program again, right?
I have to introduce Darren properly.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, no.
I'm leaving that for you.
But I got to this horn just a little bit. So as you guys recall, when I was here a few weeks ago, we said, look, we want to bring some different folks in front of you that you feel like you can connect with and who will do a good job. And so Darren is literally cream of the crop that we've had. He's been with us 3 years. He actually came over at the same time I did. The organization during that time. In fact, we are having a 3-year anniversary next week. Wow, that's amazing. So, but during that time, he's hit President's Club twice in that time, which is no small feat within our organization on a nationwide scope. It's huge. He's also, you've seen that Union Heights has continued to have the highest capture and highest referrals. That is no small part thanks to Darren, because Darren has done a tremendous job. In fact, we were just chatting. I got to divulge your information here real quick. He's like, I got up and I talked about the sales. He goes, I got 8 referrals from 7 different agents this week. That's the quality of person that he is. And when you talk about honesty, transparency, integrity, I can say that 100% because I've known Darren a very, very long time. You're going to be seeing him around a little bit more, but he is one of those people that you'll love to work with, that your clients will love to work with, and I promise he's going to make you look very, very good in the process. So that being said, I know he had some things he wanted to share, but you guys give him a warm welcome.
Well, I'll pay you later, Clay. Actually, we have known each other a long time. We met back in 2000 when Clay owned a mortgage company, and I was on the wholesale side of the mortgage business. But it's a great business, as you guys all know. It's a great opportunity to thrive. So what I want to share with you is a program.
Just a little. There we go. Okay. It's just a little camera.
Oh, now I'm really scared. I actually did last week did my very first Facebook Live with one of the agents at Union Heights. It was her idea. It actually worked out really well. But social media certainly, as you all know, is a place to get some exposure out there. What I wanted to share with you, we shared in the first-time homebuyer class the other night. It's a really, really exciting program for first-time homebuyers. You all may be familiar with Home Ready and Home Possible, which is Fannie Freddie's program for the low to moderate income. There are some drawbacks to that, one of which is you can only use 80% of the area median income. This program allows for 100% of that. So what that means in Salt Lake County is about 102,000, Tooele County about 102,000, Utah County now 98,000. Those are $20,000 or $30,000 less than that using the 80%. Davis and Weber is 120,000, and Wasatch, I always forget the other county. Summit is a little over 160,000. The other thing about this, the income piece of this that's kind of unique is if somebody makes $90,000 a year, but then they have commission and overtime or bonus, and it puts them over that 102, we just use the salary, or we just use the hourly. You don't have to put all the extra income in there. And it's completely allowable by the program. There's nothing gray or shady in that process. The other cool thing, well, there's lots of cool things about this program, but just go down and make sure I don't miss anything on these. So it has to be a first-time home buyer, but here's the definition in this program. It's a little different than Utah housing, what you might be used to. One, they can have not owned a home for 3 years or been on title, same thing, for 3 years, or they can have somebody on the loan with them that is not. So if they've exceeded that 3 years, they are counted as a first-time home buyer. If they put somebody on the loan with them that meets the first-time home buyer criteria, the household now qualifies for first-time home buyer. If that borrower brings in income that puts them over, you don't put the income on the application. It's not like USDA where it's household income, if you're familiar with that. That program is really tough to get a loan through because of how restrictive all the income pieces are. I remember a couple years ago, I tried to do a USDA loan, and 2 weeks before closing, the person got a bonus. The underwriter looked at that $500 bonus and said, we're going to assume for all the next pay periods for the next year, you're going to get that $500. They put them over the income limit and they didn't qualify anymore. So anyway, this program has so many great features to it. As little as 3% down, so it is a conventional product. You do have mortgage insurance still, but you can do that little as 3% down. Unlike the Home Ready and Home Possible, you can't do the 3% if you make too much. So this allows for that. Let's see. Cover the counties. Here's the biggest piece of it. Today, the interest rate, if you look at the national rate, is 6.5% with points. So I ran it this morning to see what the first-time home buyer would be. At a 640 credit score, the interest rate was 6.5. At conventional, with a 740 credit score with no points, the interest rate is 7.5. So there's about a 1 to 1.5 difference in interest rate because there's no adjusters. In the industry, we call it LLPAs, or loan level price adjusters. What you hear when we talk about it is we call them hits to the rate, and that's typically FICO score and loan to value, two things that cause those adjustments. In this program, in this first-time homebuyer program, there are none. There are no adjustments at all. So they're getting a rate as if they're a 740 credit score with 20% down, which is pretty awesome. So again, this is just another tool you can put in your bag of tricks. When it comes to first-time home buyer, you can get a little bit creative. Certainly call me if you've got questions on how that works. Any questions that you want to ask right now? Yes.
Does it calculate a cosigner?
How does it calculate?
No, does it include a cosigner? If you have a cosigner, how does that work?
Yes, you can use a cosigner as
and
well.
still use the program?
Yep, you can. Non-occupied co-borrower.
What about self-employed?
Self-employed, yes.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions? All right. An easy way to get a hold of me is 1-801-427-LEND. That's my phone number. Easy to remember. Yeah, I know. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it. Thanks, Clay.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Good? Do you have anything else?
That consumer price index didn't quite meet expectations today. It did show a downward trend by just 0.1. They thought it would be a 0.3% reduction. So we had a move in the right direction, but just slower than they thought. So the market's off a little bit. So the rates there just gave you take into account that little bit of negative market adjustment that we had today. Okay. So, but anyway, overall the trend is good. We're going the right direction. Just a little slower than we want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Really quick, just a reminder, secured land titles, 1031 tax exchange class is tomorrow from 10 to noon here. They won't be providing lunch. Go ahead.
CE hours on that, or?
I believe it is. Yes, it is. Okay, yes. Sorry. Looking for the slide. If you have not RSVP'd, please do so. Again, for lunch, they want to make sure they have a good head count. So if you haven't, you can either email Jamie, myself. There's a sign up on the board, whatever you want to do. Just, if you can, give us a head count so that we know what to expect. Let's see, it's just not one I responded to go. Reminder, so Thursday's marketing with Crystal. She'll be here at 11 o'clock this Thursday. She's going to be going over custom website pages again and how to feature your blog on your website. Moxie. If you can't make it, if you want to make an appointment with her, whether it's on this or something else, and you can scan and book an appointment with her, or you can also go to next available appointment, which I believe. Class of the month, owning your value, CBU Learning Center, going over inventory features of buyers and sellers value, convey your benefit better. Again, this is going to help you be able to run into those commission discussions easier and protect yourself and your value. If you guys have any questions on that outside of this, I'm always willing to help with that. Okay, there were two things really quick. If you guys come across stuff that you're either seeing pop up, or you have questions, or you think other agents should know, please let me know. And a lot of the things I pull are either things that I'm seeing going on in the industry, or unique individual things that come to us from you guys. And so sometimes I think that agents they don't want to share it, or maybe they don't want to admit it. I've run into that a lot of times. A couple things I've run into recently. One thing everyone I think knows, but I want to stress because we have run into I'm seeing this problem kind of pop up. Make sure you get your agency agreement signed before writing an offer. You can get in trouble if it's dated afterwards. There are things that can happen. So I've run into a few of these. The Utah code, the admin code through Division of Real Estate, define that you are to define the scope of the individual's agency by executing a written agency agreement between the individual and the individual's principal, which includes sellers, buyers, limited agency, all that. Make sure that is done prior to. I know that a lot of people have a tough time having a buyer especially sign a contract prior to going out. Buyers get nervous. I dealt with it through my whole time selling as well. I get it. There's some objections, that you can get into with that, but I do understand. But when you write an offer, you have to have that agreement in place. You have to have your agency defined. It is part of the Rep C that confirms you've already done that, as well as what's required by the division. It has to be in writing prior to. Don't try to backdate it, especially since digital signatures are a lot of the ways of doing these things today, and they have a timestamp on them. If you get audited, you can't get in trouble for it. And so, but I do, like I said, I understand, especially buyers, but also remember that too. And that's where I see it mostly as buyer agreements, right? You're out showing and spending your time with these buyers, whether you're driving around with them in the car, depending on how long you're spending, you have no protection unless you have that agreement signed. I do understand right up front, it's difficult. Buyers maybe want to try you out, make sure that, they want to use you. But I've also had plenty of times, I'm sure you guys have too, where you've been working with someone only to find out they're working with 2 or 3 other agents, and then they disappear on you and you spend all this time. So remember, there's the protection piece for yourself as well, but keep your license intact. Don't get in trouble with the division. Make sure these things are executed prior to. And the other one I want to touch on, and this is more just kind of, there's some that have a misunderstanding of limited agency and when it applies to you. Okay, and this was, I think, Raquel, this kind of came up. She heard some conflicting information. So depending if you came from another brokerage, in Utah, if you're with Coldwell and you're doing a deal with any Coldwell agent from here to Canab, and they're on the other side, you need the limited agency agreement in place. Okay, Where the confusion comes is there are a couple franchise brokerages that have different ownership, but they're the same brokerage name. So KW, for example, they have a couple different owners. So there's a couple offices that are owned by the same, and there's a couple offices that are owned by different owners. Technically, because those are different owners, different brokers, they could potentially get away and not be required to have a limited agency agreement between the two separate owned offices. But I still think you should err on the side of caution. If you got the same brokerage name up there, I think you need the limited agency form in there. But that's where the confusion comes, is because there are some agents and transaction coordinators and those out there that have been told that it's okay, that they don't get it as long as it's not the same broker. But the company as a whole, and that's why I said here differently, we're not franchised anyway, or even if we had the same just one owner, the company is still the overriding broker on that, regardless of who the managing broker is.
If you look at your ID on Realms, it'll show Chris Jensen as your broker rather than.
Yeah, so different principal brokers, and that's typically usually when you find different ownership, that's when they don't, it's not required. But so anyway, most everyone does understand that, and even Raquel knew that, but it was more getting conflicting information from somebody else. And you know, one was with Coldwell, and so I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that when you need it. If there's any questions, just let me know. Okay? Are there any questions? All right. Really quick, I don't know how many people really paid attention to this, but just a quick update if you didn't see it on the MLS. So remember they got rid of CDOM. They have added a field. They've changed. They used to have CTDOM, which was contract time frame and how long it's been under contract. They've just renamed that. They placed it under DOM, and now it's just time. You see your time on the contract. So it'll tell you when, you know, how long that contract has actually been under contract since the last change. If it falls out and becomes active again, then that'll reset and change once the new contract. Kind of covered this. If you guys haven't received them, or if you're looking for your 1099, you go into My Pay and Time under your My Earnings for your taxes. It's that lovely time again. So if you're looking for it, you can find it there and download it directly from there. And then just a reminder, we talked about this. You guys know I would prefer to grow the office with your referrals. Of course, you guys actually need money there as well. Remember, it's 2% the first 2 years, 1% every year thereafter, as long as you both are with Coldwell. But they've also changed that this year. So what's new is it used to be you had to refer within your Coldwell office. Now they've opened that up to affiliate offices as well. So if you guys know of agents that might be moving out of state, or maybe you've got some coming in, if they're going to Las Vegas and they want to work with one of the Coldwell Banker franchises out there, you can also be covered. You can also make money in that referral rewards with it being an affiliate and not just a corporate office. It used to be just corporate, so just so you guys know, because I know I've had plenty of friends that did real estate moved somewhere else and got their license somewhere else. So we just want to let you know that.
So if it was like a Coldwell Banker Bain from Seattle,
Yep. You can now, whether they're coming here or going there. So if that agent's leaving, it doesn't matter what broker's with, but you can now refer them to see the affiliates and be part of the referral program as well. So this is so slow. Well, you guys read that. Who's doing the bowling? Anybody? We have. Okay, we've got a bowling tournament next Tuesday. Okay, I need to get names. If you have not submitted, please let me know today because I want to get those over. And I have some want me to Don's office because I'm not competitive at all. Do not get other golf trophy. So I'm going against South Valley and Union Heights, and I want to come home with, I don't know what there's going to be a trophy, but I want the practice. Okay, so the more we get, the better. So if you guys are going again, this is going to be next Tuesday, 1 o'clock. It is 126 South, the All-Star Lane's out there. If you guys know where Pins and Nails is, that's kind of the neighboring one. So 121 South State Street. And then it's $25 per agent, and we just need head count as soon as possible. Yep.
Do we need to do anything other than, stay going on Facebook? On the
No, I will check, you've already done that, I'll go through that, I've been looking for emails.
Can you send out a Venmo?
Yes,
Link
I'll get all the
something?
information on how to pay, but yeah, so that's next Tuesday. And with that, we are not having sales meeting next Tuesday because it is President's Day on Monday, so the office will be closed here on Monday, and we typically don't do sales meeting the day after. And I may be left pep rally. Just kidding. And then this week, we had 2. And I think 1 is still here. So really quick, we're gonna jump into, I'm not gonna make you guys guess. 1162 East, 1850 South, Bountiful. I'll let you guess conditions, like parameters, bedroom, bathroom. We have 2, only 2, you guys. So, not a long one. Joey?
Wait, are we guessing now? 2,800,
6'4".
2,800 square feet,
Not a long.
4 beds, 2.5.
Or 2.5. Anyone?
6'4".
Holy
I was
smokes.
gonna say it's
Quarter and 1/2 bath.
6.
Wow.
Wow.
1.4, 1.2 or something.
6,000 square feet. 0.1 acres. 1 point what?
Price.
Damn.
1.2 million, 1.3, 4 million. something like that.
750.
What?
Yeah.
I swear I saw one
Damn.
like this that was more expensive.
All right.
So I'm just thinking, I'm thinking we're not cheating.
Oh, I was cheating.
I forgot to erase it this morning. So.
I thought I saw one on Facebook that.
We got one. One of them, we did have one that went under contract.
That's a 2
Two one.
I just cheated now. So
492 East Willoughby Ave, South Salt Lake, Raquel can't get us. And you guys want more? Yeah.
31, 31.
I don't know.
2,100.
Or, so much.
395.
3 bed, 1 and 3/4, 1,100 square feet. You guys melt price. Oh, you showed it? Okay. 395. Okay, if you guys have anything at home, wants, needs, any listings come up, we can throw them in the chat now. And then we go to everyone. Okay, you gotta speak loud though. You gotta speak loud. This mic doesn't pick you all up back there.
Looking for properly forced to.
Good luck with that.
Allow just at least 1,000 square feet, Rose, Salt Lake, anywhere around that area. Pretty, I mean, it needs to be fixed up, that's fine.
Okay.
Then there's, if it's 3-1, if it's essentially outside the bathroom.
What's the
budget? Or 25.
There's lots out in Rose Park like that,
Did
right?
I say 4 to 2 bedrooms and bath, but that's the big one.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I think I said 4 to 2.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything coming up?
New listing a condo over in Hill Gardens on Hill Drive, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 450, the remodel. It's got new counters, new bathrooms, new floors, about 1,260 square feet.
Awesome. And when's it coming up?
It comes out Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah, the HOA is, 350. Maybe it's 340, somewhere around there.
Okay. Thank you. Tracy?
The first properties that I talked about, House Jordan, I believe is coming on Thursday or Friday. It is 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, got a master, an inventory property, it's half acre, it's a horse property community. Trail system, easement between the backs of the houses, got the tack room, hay storage, all kinds of stuff like that. You don't have to use it that way, obviously. But it is set up as first property right now. Probably be 549.9. And I'm just waiting to hear if it's gonna happen this weekend or next week.
Okay. Thank you. Deborah?
I have a house in Summit Park coming up probably early March. It's 4 bedroom, 3 bath, and it's a part of Summit Park that's sunny all the time. It's way up on Matterhorn, way up on the top of the hill. And it's not part of the HOA, so you can do short-term rentals, it's really beautiful. They're doing some nice upgrades, so it'll probably be 1.45.
Awesome. Anyone else? And Meadow has 5-bed, 3-bath in Santa Quinn for $425. A 3-bed, 1-bath in Nephi. Do you have the price on that, Meadow? And then also coming up, a commercial residential property in Santa Quinn. If you have any details, shoot those over to me. Otherwise, we can throw them in sales morning recap as well, Meadow. If this will work. Anyone? Anyone? You want to share anything? Anything exciting? Funny? Just gonna. All
I
right.
have a couple other things. I have an open house today. Thank you, Wyatt's coming. One person. Woo! And I'm excited.
What's your?
It's up at Canyons Resort. It's a 1-bed, 1-bath. We just lowered the price to $495. It makes about $37,000 to $40,000 a year on Airbnb.
That's what is that? The one I came by?
Yes,
Okay.
And then I'm having an open house at my other listing that's been on the market for a minute in University Heights. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and they just put in new windows and cleaned it all up, so it's really better looking. And it's $359.
Okay.
And the sellers will consider doing seller finance.
When's that on house?
Friday from 3 to 6.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
All right.
If anybody's been showing new builds, and they're actually impressed with the build jobs in the South Valley, I'd like to talk to you. Perfect.
Okay. Wyatt, right there. All right. Hey guys. Thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy your Valentine's single awareness, whatever it is for you today. So. Oh, come on, celebrate, enjoy. Thanks, you guys.
I'm waiting for the flowers.